play, again, just like a huge role in what drives pain. Like you were kind of illuminating just a moment ago, that's a key reason why we're getting the message of the pain. We are emotional beings. We're also conscious beings, so we have experiences in our life, and those experiences create feelings, emotions. Something happens to us, we feel a certain way about it, and then we don't, again, process it, and then it gets stuck in the body and causes pain or other symptoms.
Yeah, the thing that I remember, again, from my body talk training, again, it was a long time ago, but these things that's really stuck in my head is, what happens to emotions when they, they're in the body, and how the body processes the emotions. So you've got healthy ways and you've got unhealthy ways
Exactly.
of processing the emotions. And what I remember is, one of the healthy ways to deal with an emotion might be verbally. So it might be a scream, a shout, it might be swearing, or, in some way you're getting
Talking
out of
about, I feel really angry right now.
And, I've mentioned this on the podcast a few times before, but occasionally, because I play tennis, if I've played 2 or 3 really good shots, now I've got a really easy shot to win the point, and then I miss it. That's like frustration. But if I do a quick scream, it's gone, and I can move on.
Right, because emotions are energy in motion. I like that definition that I've heard some people use of, our emotions are just energy in motion, but most of the time when we make them bad or wrong, right, it doesn't get to move. Like anger, a lot of people, especially women, I would say, don't feel comfortable with anger. So we learn to just push it down, don't be angry. And when I learned too, through body talk, kind of the Chinese medicine understanding of that, kind of what you're talking about, the healthy, balanced expression of emotion versus imbalance, I was like, oh, anger just means it's supposed to be movement. It's when it gets suppressed that we get the explosive anger that can be very scary, right? Because who wants to be near somebody who's just like kind of an anger volcano, I would say.
But again, the other thing that, again, I learned from body talk was that, well, actually, emotions have even what we might consider negative emotions actually have a positive aspect to it.
Right.
So when you mention anger, well, what's the good side of anger? Well, when you're angry, it generally creates action.
Right.
Like if you're angry about something, you'll do something about it. Right.
You'll make a boundary, maybe, for example.
Yeah. Or like me, go on freedom marches through London with a million other people who were also angry, right? So
exactly.
It gets you into action. So, these so-called negative emotions aren't always necessarily negative. It's what you do with them that counts, right?
Yeah. Like I think understanding that all emotions are, important and valid, and if you express them in a healthy way, they all have a positive aspect to it. It's just when we kind of pathologize, I should never feel angry, that's a bad emotion. That's where you come into problems. Or, I should never feel sad or scared. It's like, you're human, you may feel these things because they're part of the scope of our emotions.
Yeah. And the other way, again, like I learned from body talk, another healthy way, so to speak, to process emotions is through the digestive tract. And that's often where, if you're doing a body talk session and you clear an emotion, you might feel like gurgling or rumbling of the tummy as the emotion's being processed, which
kind of like literally digested by your body.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, again, in my training, most of the people I came across, they did do that. But there was another fellow student, and she would yawn.
I'm a yawner. I'm
right. Okay.
A huge yawner.
Yeah. Interesting. So your emotions coming out
that way.
out the mouth rather than through the intestinal tract.
Which to me is interesting too, like looking at just personally, my voice as a child, I felt like my voice was suppressed in certain ways. So it's interesting that, thinking of it having to come out that way, like out and
Mm,
up versus down, through the
mm.
digestive system.